Welcome to season number 2 here at Esteghlal Football Club in our Journey Manager save game. Today is the start of a new adventure as we venture into the Persian Gulf Pro League. But before we talk about transfers that have happened since the end of the transfer special, little update, water is still wet, financial issues here are still afoot, and there's rumours of a potential takeover yet again. We've already had 2 failed takeovers since last November. Yeah, I've been at the club 9 months, we have a takeover attempt every 3 months. Who knows if this one's going to go through? From a financial point of view, interesting to note, we are seemingly making money every month. I don't know if this is because I've sold on some players and done a bit of tomfoolery there, but I'm hoping that is going to be a theme this year, so that maybe eventually the wage budget will be increased. Speaking of which, I'm currently spending over the wage budget. What's new? Saving grace. I'm only over it by £14. So I'm kind of hoping the board will forgive me. Now, in terms of the board confidence, I've got a C+ at the moment that feels pretty promising. I'd be lying if I was to say this year I'm expecting to earn a load of miles here in Iran. Of course, we need to win competitions to achieve that. But just by winning matches and scoring goals, we can work towards that. But I am coming around to the idea that the Persian Gulf Pro League isn't exactly a fair division. If we just look at salaries per year, we actually have the second lowest wage spend of all the teams in the top division. Zobahan and Paikan, who both have tycoon takeovers, are so far ahead of us. To be fair, Tractor, who won the league last year, are also miles ahead. And Persepolis, also almost £4 million a week on wages. That is 4 times more than ourselves. If I want to win stuff in Iran, I have to move clubs. But you know what? Just our manager reputation alone, a good solid year this year I think would be a really good thing. Now, of course, we were rather busy in the transfer market last episode, but I did make a couple more deals that we should perhaps talk about. The first of which was the loaning out of Syed Soltani. Getting this guy off the wages, I think, was needed. He's on £1,100 a week, and whilst he is a good little player, I just felt like we could do without him. I'm definitely taking a risk this year because it does mean that we are going to be relying on Musavi to play at centre-back with 7 acceleration and 7 pace. And alongside him, it does mean I'm going to have to promote Garibi here, who, of course, we signed last episode. But to be fair, when I look at these 2 defenders, they are really, really good when it comes to their jumping reach. Decent physicals. I kind of wish they were both just a little bit faster. We did also loan out a load of youth players which helped with the wages, and it allowed me to pick up a couple of bonus transfers. Of course, we made a handful of signings last episode. I went out and I signed a depth option at centre mid. We've gone with Al Asaf here. He was actually released at the end of his contract from Foolad, who are playing in our opening game of the season. Experience playing in the Gulf Pro League, 6 goals last year. He won't be starting for us, but as an impact sub on off the bench, we really lacked a player with this new 4-3-3 who can kind of play the centre attacking mid or the advanced playmaker role. He's not the best from a passing point of view, but I can shuffle around the midfield to make it work. And yeah, for a free transfer, I think he's a solid little pickup. And while I have signed one more player, he comes from a familiar club. You might remember last year we signed Amala from the Morocco Academy, the Akamadi Mohammed VI Academy. This team just produce a load of players who don't seem to ask for a lot of money. I made the most of that, and as you can see here, for a second successive year, we signed a player from them. Not this year, next year. This guy, Samir Said. It's like Simon Says, but the Moroccan version. We've picked him up on a free transfer. He is going to be just an impact sub for us, I think, if that. But as a young option at 20 years old with bags of potential, decent personality, plan of attack is to train him to play on the left-hand side, cutting in on his right foot. But if we have a few injuries, don't be surprised to see him playing in the final third. Now, speaking of the tactic for this year, I am leaning towards playing this 4-3-3. I did discuss the idea of playing strikerless. We're not quite going to go that far, but Hani here, the Egyptian international, is going to play for us as a false 9. This is a role that I feel like he's just ready-made to play. If it doesn't work, kind of playing him as a false 9, I might try dropping him to centre attacking mid and going without a striker. Of course, Gorbanport was our go-to striking option last year. We're currently training him to play out on the left-hand side, and while we did of course sign Yaramadi, who I think is a more traditional striker. If we decide the whole false 9 thing isn't working, or if we just want to sub on a man to score a goal, this man's going to do the business. You might have noticed with this shuffle in shape, Mark is going to be playing at right back for us this year. I don't love the fact he has to play here because I feel like there's more impactful places to use him, but it just makes sense with our current squad. Sadly, though, he's injured for 2 to 8 days, so he is going to miss the first couple games of the season. Speaking of which, today our season opener is at home against Foolad. Their media prediction is 8th, our media prediction is 11th. Granted, that was before some transfers were made, so if we just look at the latest season preview, you can see we have actually marginally gone ahead of them. Media prediction for us is 8th. I think when you consider we have the 15th largest wage spend, that's pretty good. Oh, and after that first game, whilst we have got a game in the qualifying rounds of the Hasfi Cup, that's not the focus. We will be doing a second game today. It will be away against the reigning champions in Tractor. Their key man, just for a bit of context here, is Mohamed Reza Chajue. He's good, isn't he? He's really, really good. They're paying him £10,000 a week. Just as a reminder, my entire team's on £27,000. Now, we are actually the late kickoff on opening day, so everyone else has played. We'll worry about what they've done after we get our first win of the year. I hope. We are going to be playing this 4-3-3. If I have a concern, I guess, this year, it is our depth in the defensive area, which is kind of going to be exposed immediately with Mark injured. If we just look at defensive options at the club, you'll note here there are some players with some pretty decent ability I've ended up having to opt to loan out purely to get below the wage budget. It's a little bit frustrating, but a few of these players are just on far too much for the kind of quality they offer. And equally, with players like Jafari here, who's 17, I need to give him game time and see if he can develop. What it does mean, though, for this opening game is we're probably going to have to shuffle the team a little bit around. I think Mokhtari, our normal left-back, is going to have to go and play at right-back. And then at left-back, we're going to have to bring in Farhad Ahmadi. I'm currently training this guy to play as right-back. He is going to be our go-to sub-option to cover the entire back four this year. There's going to be a lot of pressure on him, especially if he has to play in those full-back areas. He's really not the best going forward. Saying all of that, now I'm playing him at left-back. Watch him get man of the match today. In terms of the midfield, we are at full strength. Sultani, Abbasi, Niamsi. Niamsi, I love the look of. This guy's mentals are absolutely superb. As a defensive mid with two kind of free-roaming creative spirits in Abbasi and also Sultani, we need that man who's just going to be a bit sensible. Niamsi is that man. Out on the right, Mortazavi, now 17. I can't call him the 16-year-old anymore. He's going to be playing for us cutting in from that right-hand side. There's been a lot of interest in him from teams in our own division. I'm not willing to sell him. This is my first time in at least a year in FM24 using the false 9 role. It's a bit of a hipster role, isn't it? It feels almost a bit dated in a way, the false 9. You don't hear it talked about in modern football enough. Well, look, we're bringing it back here in Iran, and I'm going to hope it works out for us. Okay, first home game of the year. It's not a sellout, but I hope we've got more fans than last year. Okay, interesting to note, they're playing a 4-3-3 as well. I don't think they're playing with a false 9. This is going to be the battle of the hipsters. Hani, of course, is going to be dropping deep. Our two centre-mid options looking for ongoing runs on the rush as Mokhtari pulls it back to Mortazavi. It's floated in. Abbas shoots. It's in the middle. We nearly scored immediately. Sultani over the corner. He's going to put it towards the near post. Sadly, it's headed over. But the resulting goal kick is another highlight immediately. Mortazavi. He's 17, not 16. I've got to remember that. But he is our star wonder boy, I feel like, in this team. Abbasi on the overlap, of course. Abbasi, the man who we were desperate to bring back from loan last year but couldn't justify. He's such a good creative player. The ball's through to Mortazavi. Sultani scores. It's 1-0. That is going to count. With us playing the false 9 striker, there's going to be so much pressure on the wide attacking midfielders who are both inverted, but also the centre mid on attack to get forward and offer that attacking support. Sultani does just that there. Musavi for us, our centre-back. Stepping out with the ball. I am a little bit paranoid about our two centre-backs having next to no pace, but I'm hoping by playing a really kind of dominant possession style of play, which is something we really want to emphasise with this team, we are going to be capable of just not, well, allowing teams to counter on us. Mokhtari has the ball here and is bringing it forward. The youngster goes down in a heap. Think he was looking for a penalty. He's not going to get it. And now it's going to be on Foolad to get the ball forward and try and spring. Well, maybe the counter-attack I just mentioned, feeling confident we could repel. They have the ball at the back. João Pedro leaves it loose. Mortazavi latches onto it. The youngster is dancing. He is thriving. He's on an 8.3 rating right now. He puts it in. It's nodded down. Gorbanpour was onside and definitely should have scored there. I mean, look, we are only, 17 minutes into this game. We look really good. Abbasi, on his return from his 2 loan spells, the youngster, he's wanted by Venezia. Can he turn up with a massive goal for us here? I don't intend on selling him. I need to sort out his contract. He doesn't want to talk to me. Maybe if he scores, he'll want to talk for me. I'll tell you what, there's a lot of build-up here. He's hit the woodwork. Mokhtari, Had the whole goal to aim for and headed it straight at the keeper. And having dominated this game, we've had 62% of the ball. Why have they now got a corner on the far side? I don't like this. It's headed not far over. That was scary. I mean, we're a goal up in this game with 10 minutes left of the half, and we've looked great, but we do have an XG of 2.54 with only one goal. I really hope we're not going to live to regret the misses that we've had in this first half. They've now got a set piece. Alavi whips it in. Do I need to be scared? Not on this occasion. I mean, this game is kind of as close as I expected it to be. We had a flurry of chances early on, but since then, they have grown into the game just a little bit. I'm going to tell the players I'm happy. Keep it going. Not going to change anything immediately here. Set piece for us. Abassi forward to Mortazavi. What can he do? He pulls it to the edge of the box. Sultani. Abassi, have a shot, son. Why not? Pull the trigger. Someone have a shot. We're trying to walk the ball into the net. To be fair, I have got the work the ball into the box instruction on. So maybe they're just sticking to their assignment, but I want to see a banger. I want to see a moment of magic. Abassi, Mokhtari, Abassi. We are just toying with them here. Look at the possession we've got. Look at the men we've got forward. We're causing them all kinds of issues. Abassi lays it back to Musavi. They've got a really good defensive line. They're holding it firm. We're probing, we're prodding, but we're not finding a breakthrough. Maybe it can happen here. Sultani turns superbly. Gorbanpour, cutting inside, shoots. That's the kind of finish I expect from our star striker of last year. And whilst he is dropping back into the wider area, and he's still learning the position, get him in front of goal, he'll put the ball in the back of the net like that. Our pressure was worth it. Sultani, by the way, here, surrounded by 5 men, really did well to turn and find that pass. And the finish, equally as good. I'll tell you, I don't know about anyone else. I'm ready to take on Tractor now. Give me the champions. We'll play them tomorrow. Or in a week. A week sounds better. Okay, you know what? I've bigged up Abassi in this game. I'm going to take him off here. Worth noting, despite all the interest, he's not unhappy at the club just yet. We're going to give Al Asaf his debut. I mentioned the fact he's not the best player when it comes to his passing. So what we're going to do is we're going to move Sultani across to play the advanced playmaker. And Al Asaf will now play as the centre mid on attack. Really well suited to this role. Elsewhere, I'm going to bring in Azizi and drop Hani. And we're going to bring Gorbanpour up top. I think going to play him as the false 9 here and see what he can do, although his passing and vision just isn't very good. You know what? Instead of a false 9, we'll try him on pressing forward on attack. It's a slightly more aggressive role, but it just way better suits his skill set. Gonna make just those 2 changes for now. Really don't feel like we need to overcomplicate things here. Well, the highlights have dried up in this second half, but you know what? I don't care. We're on top. Well, we're on the attack again here. Gorbanpour floats it in. Mortasavi's never going to win the ball in the air there. I'm not sure what I expected. And now Nuri, for them, is looking to hit us on the counter. This is what I'm scared of with our team, but what a tackle that is by Mokhtari. And now Azizi, who's fresh as a daisy on off the bench, is going to bring it forward. Gorbanpour back to Azizi. Inside to Al Asaf. The subs link up. The subs earn us a penalty. Mark's not on the pitch to take it. That's probably a blessing. Instead, it's going to be on Sultani to hopefully convert and bag his second of the game. The centre mid steps up and smooshes it into the top bins. I'm liking what I'm seeing from our team in this opening game. Always a bit of a risk, kind of playing a possession-based system as a newly promoted team. But it's working. Just a couple of minutes left of this game. We've really limited their opportunities nicely. Just 2 shots on target. 3 minutes of added time here are going to come and go. And I feel like that's a really good statement win. Obviously, opening game of the year. We are predicted now with the updated kind of predictions with the latest additions to the squad to finish above them. But we've beaten them convincingly and crucially kept a clean sheet. Don't know if you spotted it with that result there. Second in the league. Should we just end the season now? Probably not. I did mention, didn't I, the Zoba Han kind of financial situation and also Pycan. They're predicted to be really high up in the league. There's part of me that wants to hate watch those teams and hope they sack their managers, because if I could get one of those jobs, that could be a really good way to do well here in Iran. At the same time, I'd feel a bit bad leaving Esteghlal. But winning this league is going to be hard. So with that, the league season has kicked off. We had the best possible start, but now we're going to have the most difficult start because we've got an away trip to the reigning champions. There's a cup game midweek. I'm going to play a rotated team in that one. We should be more than capable of beating this team here, who are from the league below us. And instead, we're going to worry about this one against Tractor Sport Club. I'm scared. Okay, so I didn't realise this game against Tractor is actually kind of a big deal. It's considered the Esteghlal versus Tractor derby. I feel like there's probably a more imaginative name for that in Persian, but the English translation is awful for it. Now, some good news, the transfer window has shut, so I can't lose any players right now. There is still one minor caveat to that, and it's an ongoing worry that I'm just going to pretend isn't an issue. Monardi, my backup goalie, is unhappy and not on a permanent contract. He could just walk out at any point, and if he does, Abassi here, not the centre mid Abassi, but a different Abassi from our academy, would be the backup goalie. So for my sakes, I really want Amala to stay fit this year. Oh, and if you were wondering about the transfer window, Pycan, who just had their tycoon takeover in the last 12 months, they've got 23 million in the bank. They spent big, and in fact, they spent big money on Imani here, who's a striker who might look familiar, because you may remember during our opening transfer episode, we looked at some clauses we could sell. He was actually a player that used to play for us, went to Freiburg, and has now come back to Iran, and is being paid £25,000 a week. That is as much as my entire first team. Oh, and as for how things went in the Cup, 3-1 win, nice and simple, rotated the team pretty heavily as well, so a good result. Hani did play him at false 9, got man of the match. Now, in terms of the team news for this game against Tractor, there is one minor change from the opening league game. Mark is back in the team. He's going to be playing at right back, full back on attack for him, of course, using the very good instructions in this match engine of crossing from the byline, staying wider but looking to cut inside. He will be overlapping with Mortazavi on the right, offering some attacking threat as well. And in terms of the rest of the team, we're going to stick with it. Gorbanpour, slowly but surely learning left attacking mid. Hopefully by the, I don't know, I was going to say the Christmas break. I don't think there's a Christmas break here in Iran. But hopefully by kind of January time, he will at least be accomplished in this position. In terms of Tractor's team, if you're wondering, their key man is Ashur here. Very, very good centre mid, in on loan for the year, which is a bit bizarre. But if I do just look at their team in terms of star ratings, it is quite a lot better than ours. But you know what? We might be underdogs. I'm going to tell the players I've got faith in them. And I'm going to hope we can at least put up a plucky performance. I'm not necessarily expecting us to win or even draw this game, but I want to have reason for optimism. Okay, I don't want to alarm anyone. They've got a free kick immediately. 3.5 minutes in. Conceding a free kick is not the way to go a goal down. And yet it very nearly was. That skimmed the top of the crossbar. They've now got a corner. Oh, I don't like this start. Set pieces, like, are the worst way to concede in a game like this. If anything, they're the thing that we need to make the most of today from an attacking point of view. And yet we are on the back foot. And that shot was not far over. Right, I praise the players. There's green, happy, smiley faces, but then a highlight begins immediately. And oh my, look, having done a great team talk, look how happy they all are. We'll probably now just go on to concede, and I'll feel like I shouldn't have ever done the shout. Nevertheless, they've got the ball here. Ashur, the Egyptian loanee, running the show, really, from the defensive mid-area. He's so good with the ball at his feet. He is going to be at the heart of everything they do as they look to play it through the team. They're kind of trying to play like we are, I suppose. Two similar shapes coming up against each other once more. And now it's Jafari on the near side, skipping past Mark. Mark, wake up! Please don't foul him, Mark. The ball's fizzed in. They've scored. I mean, the bloke who scored wears the number 99 on his shirt, so you know he's a baller. What's his name? Ebrimzadeh. Definitely nailed that pronunciation. Jafari with a crazy run. One man to aim for in the middle. Picked him out perfectly. I'll tell you what, their striker who just scored, he's quite good at football. All right, I've done a shout of encouragement at the players. The green, happy, smiley faces have returned. Now, can we actually show something going forward? Opening of this game has been us on the back foot repeatedly, but finally some possession. Ball played in. Mortazavi tries to keep it alive. It's cleared away as far as Mokhtari. He's going to look to keep it alive. Sultani pulls it back to Niamsi. Abassi. Mark. Have a go, Mark. Have a go, Mark. Why not have a go? Oh, why not have a go, Mark? My right back, my son, my hero. He makes it 1-1. I was expecting him to pull the trigger a lot sooner here. He kind of dribbles and then dribbles some more and then just smashes it at the goalie's head, who ducked very kindly out the way. Mokhtari with a throw-in. Gives it down to Sultani. We're back level in this game, but that is not enough. I want to keep playing on the front foot. I want to see more action here. Musavi plays it forward. Mortazavi now with it. The 17-year-old. I'm going to quote his age to the end of time. Where's he going? He's running a long way back, the inverted winger, but he has got Mark on the overlap at the very least. Look at this. Free-flowing, sexy, passing football. Some would say it's boring playing it around the back like this. I think it's beautiful. Unless we concede as a result of messing around with the ball, in which case it's a terrible idea and I'm an idiot. Mokhtari to Garibi. Gorbanpour picks up the ball and cuts inside. Lovely little run there. Sultani picks up the ball and turns. He's bearing down on goal. He shoots. Oh my word. 2 goals last game, 1 goal in this game. We're a goal up. I mean, I did think that as a centre mid on attack, his goal scoring contributions were going to be big this year. 3 goals is stupendous. And how about this for stupendous? What a run. What a finish. We are ahead against Tractor, the reigning champions, away from home, and we're going to be ahead at the break. It's 2-1 here. Give the players some praise. Go and do the fans proud. This is a derby. You're all great. Keep it going. More of the same, please. I had to say, Hani as the false nine's not getting a good rating, but everyone else around him is. And I do feel like for strikers in Football Manager, there is far too much weight put on just goals being scored by them with their ratings in the match engine. So I'm not going to worry about that too much. Although, you know what? Less than half an hour left. I am going to make some changes here. Mortazavi's looking a little worse for wear. I'm going to bring in Alipour on the right-hand side as an inverted winger. Niamsi's not had the best game at defensive mid. You know what? We're going to bring in Ashuri there. I feel like his ability in the air will be useful defending set pieces. And as much as I've enjoyed watching Hani in this game, you know what? I'm going to give the debut to Yaramadi in this game. He was a late addition to our team. He's not really the most creative of forwards. I mean, the 4 passing and 5 vision is an issue. I think for him, I'm going to play him here as an advanced forward. I do think when it comes to our striking options this year, kind of the role that we deploy is going to be entirely dependent on the players that I have on the pitch. I feel like with this system, the roles around it, actually, the striker can be a false 9. It can be a pressing forward. It can be an advanced forward if needed. Anyway, I mentioned the need to defend set pieces, didn't I? And that being the reason to bring on Ashuri. They've got a long throw here that we're going to head half away, but it's still in a dangerous area as Kaur cuts inside and Amala, the Moroccan keeper, makes a massive stop. 13 minutes left in this game. I wanted to shout praise. The praise has come through too late. The highlight had already begun. And is that an own goal? Oh, it's an own goal by Mokhtari, the left back. How did it just deflect off him? It's a set piece. It's a set piece. It was always going to be whip back post. And, oh, it just hits him and hits the keeper. It was a bit like Luke Shaw's goal, wasn't it, in the kind of Europa League final. Absolute pain. I mean, a draw would still be a great result. The fact that I now had the praise talk go through after we conceded isn't great. Let's encourage the players here. There's 4 minutes of added time. Nothing really happening in this game in terms of chat. No, not like this. Head it away. Right, could we hit them on the break? We've got a 3-on-2. There's a minute left. This is our one chance to get the lead here. Alipour bringing it forward. Alipour forgets about the ball. It's lumped back forward. It is end-to-end stuff here. There's tired legs on the pitch for either team. Mark gives it to Abassi. Abassi, what are you doing? What are you doing? They have been gifted a chance. And but for an Adama save, they would have scored it. Amala in goal. What a stop yet again. The shout of encourage now goes through. We've headed it away. Can we have a timeout, please? We can't have a timeout. We've played the 4 minutes. Stop the count. Unless, imagine, Mark, I believe in you. Inside, Abassi. Alipour, the right winger, cutting inside. 3 players in the middle. Squares it! Oh my word. Yaramadi has just won us the game with the last kick of the game. I'll tell you what, we've had some absolutely kind of pure cinema episodes here. How about that for a finish? Yaramadi on his debut scores to give us the lead against the reigning champions. And surely that's going to be that. That is going to be that. It finishes 3-2. What a stupid game of football. Alipour, who we subbed on, gets man of the match with an assist. Yeah, I don't understand how he's managed that either. Everyone thought we'd lose, but we've proven them wrong. On the road, starting with a false 9. Granted, we abandoned that style of play. We make it 2 wins in 2 as a newly promoted team. And why not dream of getting a top 4 spot and an Asian Champions League spot? That is now my aim for the season. Am I getting carried away? Maybe slightly. Yaramadi scores on Esteghlal debut. My hero. I mean, I don't even really know what to say. That is absolute madness for us. Obviously, this season, like I said, I feel like maybe going for top 4 is the aim, but ultimately, we just want to improve our manager standing, help our manager rep, and help us not necessarily build miles this year, but build our profile as a manager so that hopefully, when we do try and move to Europe, probably not for a year or two, and we may even have to go via another nation before we get there, but hopefully I can land myself at least a semi-decent job. Okay, well, you know what? I didn't think we could top the end of last season. That is not that far away. Maybe not quite to the same level, but I still feel like I need to go have a lay down. We will be back on Monday with more action here from Esteglal. Hopefully you're enjoying this save as much as I am. I am loving it. I can't wait to bring you more next time. Until then, have a lovely weekend. It's me, Jack. I'll talk to you in a bit. I'm out.